Oh, this is a cool one. Interesting to see what they'll do with the story of this guy, the amorphous gel. The amorphous gel, sorry. Water? Huh? Where am I? Who am I? Oh, that's right. I went looking for water, but I was attacked by fiends. Now I'm a fiend. I have to get back to my parents and sisters. I'm the son of a Canal merchant. Our family runs a caravan that goes around to camps, but we got lost in the desert. That day, we loaded the shoe puffs and headed out across the desert as usual. At high noon, it suddenly got dark and a big sandstorm approached. We frantically tried to escape, but the storm came up at us so fast and it swallowed us up in an instant. My father held me and the bigger of my younger sisters and dove into the sand. After that, I just remember it being completely dark and I could only hear the rumbling of the storm. After the storm passed, though, we stuck our heads out of the sand and saw that we were completely lost. The compass was ruined by the sand and the storm removed all the markers in the desert. And worst of all, the storm somehow took our precious water supply. You know how horrifying it is to have no water in the desert, right? So we started looking for an oasis. There were none to be found. My small sister was the first to become unable to move, then my other sister, then my mother. The sun continued to glare down upon us without mercy. I needed to find water while I was still able to move. I decided to go search alone. On wobbly feet, I left the caravan and my family, but I was soon attacked by fiends. Even as we speak, my family may... Please help me find them. This all happened very recently. Sad story, pretty dark. His two sisters and stopped moving and so forth. Hell, for all I know, this could be a girl, this fiend. Well, there's the shoe puffs. One of them looks dead. This game really gives you a good scale of how big the desert actually is. And a chocobo looking dead there. Water! Ah, look, the Albed have seen him. It's Pickett, or just one of their cameras, one of their remote cameras. Found a survivor. And there's us. I guess we brought it over. Everyone. If I don't hurry, I'll be too late. The reason I became a fiend and stayed in Spirit was so that I could help everyone. I can still make it. I can save everyone. You have this really cool thing here where they expand the fiend. I mean, we've always known the engine, or they're capable of scaling fiends and stuff up. Kind of cool what they do here. They turn him into a giant disc. And the thing in the middle looks really weird at this kind of scale as well. This is what I'm talking about. They make crazy use of assets in the game. And here we see rain, which is phenomenal, really, if you think about it, because rain isn't a part of any Final Fantasy X stuff. I don't remember anywhere ever raining except the Thunder Plains, I guess. The Thunder Plains kind of breaks it. Brother, I did it! Take good care of Mum and Dad. I like the thought that the fiend itself is just the thing in the middle. The squalls that suddenly fall upon Canal Desert were henceforth known as the Amorphous Gel's gift. Alright, hello everyone, welcome to another video. I've already been recording like 6-7 minutes because for some reason, I don't know what compelled me to. I didn't save after the last episode, or at least after we got to the desert, so I had to redo the mission. But there we go, so I am back. Welcome to another video. Here's Riku. She says, we totally knocked their socks off. I guess this means that I haven't approached a walker and told him twice not to get on the airship, but whatever. Payne says, I guess it was worth getting covered in sand after all. Absolutely, so we now have two dresses. Hope you guys are doing good. This video ended up going up a little bit later than it normally would have expected, but hopefully it's not too late for you guys in any case. And yeah, I guess we'll just progress with the main story. Today is probably going to be the last day for a little while. We're on this save file. After we've done this stuff, we may be swapping over. Brother here says we steal back what is stolen. It is the law of the Sphere Hunter. I don't actually think I'd spoken to him in this chapter yet. So let's go chat with Buddy. If you've forgotten what's going on with the story, the current plot is we're trying to get 3 Syndicate outfits. Each time we get one of the girls does actually genuinely equip it out on the airship bridge, which is cool. We now have one for Riku, we have one for Pain. We just need one more. Guado Salam is the hot spot, but we have already been there, and we know that the last place that the LeBlanc Syndicate is at is Mount Gagazette. So it says there's no missions here, but it says that we got a call from Kimari, the Ronso Elder. Maybe he's found a treasure sphere. Now remember, on this file, we never actually went to Gagazette in chapter 1, so this will be the first time we meet Kimari a little bit later. Ultimately, not very much changes, but it'll be interesting to see. Learned quite a few cool things as well from the comments with the last episode where we were doing like Mackin and Moore and stuff, where we were showing off the special dress spheres, which all 3 girls now have. That was pretty significant from the last episode. So if we have a look at our dress sphere collection now, you'll notice a lot of the ones in the middle are filled, right? So the one in the middle left, that's full throttle. The very middle is Floral Fallow, which is Yuna's. And the one on the right is Mackin and Moore. Above it, we have the Festivalist, and the other one in the middle, below it, that is another dress sphere, another class, which is international only content, which sort of makes it special and puts it in the middle. We'll be talking about probably next episode. But otherwise, we don't have too many classes along the outside. Gunmaid would be here on the other file. But we're doing pretty good, right? We're doing pretty good. Anyway, some of you guys mentioned some pretty interesting stuff about how the actual health and stats you get in your special dress sphere. So say Floral Fallow, okay, Mackin and Moore here for Riku. The actual stats you get when you go into this depends on how many areas on the garment grid you've traveled through. So again, while Unerring Path is a good garment grid because it's got just the 2 slots, the other more complicated garment grids give you the gates, but also a lot more to travel around, so you get more health and stuff anyway. Though apparently you don't get the benefit of accessories while you're in those forms. It's kind of okay though, because a lot of accessories just give you status immunities and stuff, and you're immune anyway in the special spheres. So let's have a talk around and see what's going on. No scene with Garrick or anything like that, you may have noticed. And if we talk to the Ronso, you will see that there is once again this idea that you can offer them input. So this guy says, Albed too suffer at the hands of the Guado. Guado is a source of much chaos. This isn't something we read in chapter 1. So now we can come back to these guys and have all of our input. For now though, I'm just going to piss them off because I don't want to reason with the Ronso in this file at all. So maybe I should just say that it's not as simple as that, damn it. And he says, but it was Guado that did it. The lady, once again, standing next to Kimari, will have similar thoughts. Worry is great burden on Elder's shoulders. You guys mentioned that she's trying to get with him because he's in power now. I can see that. What if this ends up being like his wife in 10-3 or something? That'd be kind of weird. And I'm going to say, of course, he's the Elder. She says, Worry can bring great men to knees, even Elder, sure. Well, hey, Kimari, what's going on?
Kimari, sorry.
Stop it!
Sorry about what?
Kimari look for sphere for Yuna, but Kimari find nothing. Kimari disappoint Yuna.
It's all right, Kimari. Of course, I'm happy that you tried to help, but Yuna has to deal with Yuna problems.
Kimari search mountain long time, but still one place Kimari not look. Fate's scar rises high on mountain. Scar is sacred ground, which Ronso not tread.
Might still be some spheres up there.
Summoners no longer climb mountain. Now only sphere hunters come. Kimari worry hunters defile sacred ground.
Do you think it's LeBlanc and her goons?
Maybe we should check. Is that okay?
Kimari trust Yuna. Kimari not worry.
I think that seems pretty reasonable, yeah. If there's spheres there, then it seems like the LeBlanc Syndicate would come here. So it seems like we come in more on a whim than anything else. And that's true, even if, like, as a new player, you see someone in Guado Salam says, oh, there might be a Mount Gagazette. You just go there, right? And you just see. Kind of cool. We can talk once again to Kimari here.
Ronso youth filled with anger, hate Guado. Kimahri must stop fight, but Kimahri not wise enough.
And so now, if you missed or gave him the wrong response in Chapter 1 when you spoke to Kimahri specifically and gave him advice, you now have another opportunity to redeem yourself and give him some good advice. If you manage to pull it off this time, you will still be awarded one of the dress spheres later in game, one of the unique classes. So what do we want to say? I mean, let's just say it from the heart here, because we don't really care on this file. Why not just leave them alone? That's actually a pretty bad response, right? You have to figure this out on your own. I think that's probably the positive response. Or stop them by force if you have to.
Using force is easy way.
You're damn right it's the easy way.
But if Elder use force, Ronso also use force. Force defeat itself. Kimahri no. Kimahri lose horn this one.
I don't know. Force, you Ronso could be on top of the world. You could rule the world, okay? You could be like, take that. Alright, this time we're going to go up to... the Faith Scar, I guess, is probably the best place that we could go to. Once again, it's weird in this game, right? There's no reason to ever go up the mountain trail. But there you have it. And of course, so now the series is going to have some Fiend tales integrated with it. Hopefully you guys enjoy them. It could feel a bit heavy-handed at times because we've got 60 to go through very quickly. But, you know, I find a lot of them interesting enough. And it's a lot of stuff people just don't include in, like, when they're showing off stuff about the game. So I'd really appreciate that. Here you'll notice we do actually still have the red arrows on our minimap guiding us where to go. It's easy to forget about something like that when you're in sort of the more open-worldy areas of 10.2, but it is still a factor. Have I told you the sad tale of how my brother is frozen in a solid block of ice? I don't even know if he's alive or dead. But no, there's no way he kicked the bucket. We were born and raised in Gagazette. Ice is just a plaything to us. I'll never forget that cursed night. I know he's waiting for me. Let me get stronger so I can rescue him. My brother and I grew up in the snowy peaks of Gagazette. Its craggy precipices and deep snowbanks made it inhospitable for all but the toughest of creatures. I remember frigid, wintry nights when we would huddle in a cave, waiting for a blizzard to let up. We were always together, my brother and I. 5 years ago, at the age of 20, I engaged in my rite of adulthood. We go alone to the mountain's crest and bathe in the morning sunlight. That is how we become adults. This holy ritual we dedicate to the faith must be done alone. I followed this rule as I set out on my journey. As I made my way to the summit in the dead of night, the snowstorm grew even fiercer. This was the first time I'd ever faced such biting cold. My legs could barely move and I began to drift off. And that's when my brother came to me. He had been following me. We quickly huddled to endure the cold. And then the morning came. As I opened my eyes, I saw that my brother had been completely encased in ice. He was not yet of age. Surely it was the divine punishment of the faith for breaking our sacred ritual. No matter what I did, the ice did not melt. But I know in my heart that my brother is still alive in them. 5 years have passed, and my brother would now be 20. I plan to take on the rite once more with him. Very interesting, the view here of the faith. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but there's another Fiend tale where it refers to the faith as divine things that even though they're gone now, they still watch over the people of spirit. Almost like the faith are like their gods. Don't forget that the faith predate Bavel, predate Yevon, predate Xanakan, predate the war, everything. The faith are just a part of this world, like the far plane. The snowy path that I climbed on my rite of adulthood. It's been 5 years now. Hold on, I'll save you! I'll melt this ice away! I've never seen a wolf do an ability like that before. Oh, I've never seen a pussy with ears and a tail before. Brother! I'm sorry. Look at how much smaller he is! I wanted to become an adult too! There's no need to apologize. Come on, let's go. But for the rite of adulthood, you have to climb alone. It's alright. I'll climb together with you. That's the way we do it. Do you think the Faith will forgive us? If the Faith don't forgive us, I'll complain. Hey, how long was I asleep? A long time. A lot has happened while you were asleep. Tell me. Hold your horses. There's plenty of time for that. Yes, brother. Maybe you should stop calling me brother. We're adults now, after all. Yes, brother. Oh, you could just put him in a bag and be one of those, like, fashion women that carry chihuahuas around in bags. And our ultimate goal here, really, is to climb. So we're going to see some new areas now.
Must be up ahead.
You mean we're supposed to climb this?
No wonder the Ronso never come here.
Look!
It's a Femgoon! Do you think she saw us? Who knows? The mission now begins, so we're on mission time now. And this is called Spring into Action. Now remember, most of these mission titles have been puns. What could that mean? It says you'll need uniforms to sneak into Chateau LeBlanc, so what are you waiting for? Get to it. Objective, get a syndicate uniform. Something kind of interesting that happened here. The screen we were just on, the screen we were just on was the cave, right? And we transition immediately to this screen here. We've actually skipped a scene here in this game, and that's the scene where you fought Seymour in the previous game, Seymour 3. But you'll notice that fiend tail that just came up did take place there. So in that way, you get to sort of still experience that little area of the game. And this actually, it might be one screen further back as well. But anyway, this area we're currently stood in this is where Titus fell unconscious and went back to Dreams Anakin, even if only for a little while. This is where all the Faith originally were. But remember what happened in the previous game? All the Faith lost their power, and a part of the final cutscene was indeed this image of that really striking ball of water that was floating, just crashing to the ground, and all the magic basically seeping away from that place. And that's where we're currently now stood, but now that the magic's gone, we're just kind of in a rocky outcrop kind of area, right? So that's what we're now dealing with. Largely, this is also what led to the reveal of the ruins high up in the sky. So now we're going to be able to take advantage of X-2 climbing. So literally, we have a lot of climbing to do. And this is one of the cooler little sections where it's like, okay, the idea isn't just to hold circle constantly. There are actually multiple routes you can take to climb. First, I believe what we want to do is come over on... No, we don't. Go over on the left. Okay, brilliant. Oh god, and then I accidentally fell down there as well. You might think, oh, I can keep climbing over there on the back left towards the screen. It's not actually true, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. The fiends we're going to be fighting here aren't really anything too dangerous. I haven't really shown you guys that much, but on the airship you do get a star rating that demonstrates how difficult areas are. Pain getting some massive hits on that flan there. Oh, we got Fire Arga! Oh, I am so sorry, dude. Down you go. Yeah, there are stars that show you the difficulty of various areas, and this isn't going to be a particularly difficult mission. And I guess we'll just move on over on the right. Now, over here, this should be it. Yeah, okay, over here we're going to find a chest. Now, the chest is on a floating platform that, for the life of me, when I was younger, I could never ever figure out how to get into for a long time. It's the most obscure, weird thing. Now, you remember how I told you guys that you can't walk in this game? Or there's no specific button you can hold to walk. Instead, you have to move the analog stick very, very gently. Well, that's now a mechanic to collect a chest, and it's really random. I'm not sure. Oh, we got Mental Break. That's fantastic.
Never underestimate Yuna.
So Mental Break, when we attack an enemy, it makes they're going to become more vulnerable to magic, and since we have these festivalists, that'll be helpful. But look, if we try and get to this chest, the thing floats away, right? There's no dialogue or anything hinting at this, right? As we move away, it comes closer. But if we walk, if we go ever so gently, I notice I get a lot more heavy-handed while I'm LPing. And then you hold circle, you can now get to the chest. It's so weird. And now you can run while you're on it and it's not going to move away. You do score an elixir, though, which is a pretty good drop. I noticed in the previous episode, actually, while I was editing, I was like, oh, you don't get anything very good from stealing from Logos and Ormi. And then I did it, and we got like a mega elixir or some crap, which is a very powerful item. But yeah, those chests are so weird. Like, the whole idea is Yuna's meant to be jumping these great distances, right? So they're forcing you to walk like this, and then suddenly do huge jumps, which just feels so unnatural and unrealistic. And it goes against every fiber of your being as to what you should actually do to get to the chest. If anything, you'd expect you'd have to run really quickly, or maybe tackle it from a different angle, but no, you just have to charge. So here we're in one of the other small little caves. This is the Scar Cave. There's a lot of little areas like this in 10-2. Mini dungeons, small caves, and a lot of them feel very corridory, I've got to be honest. But once you manage to climb through that one, you'll notice we're even higher up now. It still says we're just at the Fade Scar. Now this goon is largely who we've been chasing, right? And the game does something very cool here, right? It tempts you immediately to go towards that save sphere. Why do you want to go to the save sphere? Because you're probably getting low on health, because you may not have saved. I haven't saved this entire recording. I'd have to go all the way back to the desert, redo everything again, right? You want to save, you want to heal up, you want to follow the goon, so you want to go that way. But there is a very slight branch here where if you do go down, it's going to trigger a cutscene, it's going to trigger stuff, and you will miss a small % of completion, okay? Instead, what you want to do is climb up. Now, for what it's worth, I don't know 100% whether you can get that save sphere down there or not now, or whether it will trigger the cutscene straight away. I'd like to think you could get to the save sphere, but I'm not going to risk it. Instead, we're going to keep climbing. And why would we want to do this? Well, I guess maybe for the first-time player, your main incentive is the fact that the goon came from up here, right? Just like, why was she up here in the first place? What was she even interested in? So maybe you want to come up for that. But there's no real reason to. Do you remember where we started the game, in the ruins way above Gagazette? Well, ultimately, where we're now climbing is a method to get up there without using the airship, a physical route to the top. Before we do that, though, you want to walk very slowly. Very slowly. Come on. Okay, there we go. No, damn it. Oh, okay, we'll try again. All right, you see it move back. Here we go. I'm scared of getting fiend encounters as well. You have to be so gentle with your touch on the controller. Okay, here we go. All right. No. Why are you moving away? Why are you moving away? I didn't... What? I was walking the whole time. All right. Okay, guys, I'm back. That was a long cut, all right? I was getting so frustrated with this, I couldn't figure out how to do it, and my physical guide didn't say anything specific. When I did this on my test file, it didn't say anything specific. Apparently, to get to it, what you need to do is you need to walk, but you need to stay against the cliff rather than close to the outside. And then by doing this, you can actually get close enough to jump over. See, if you hug the left wall like I was, desperately trying to get close all the time, you won't make it. And then, there you go, now you can get up to the chest. All this hassle goes for a white cape. This is an accessory that will give you... Jesus, I can't actually remember what it gives you. Guards against silence. Really not that good. And one of the only bits of loot that you get by coming all the way up here. If you don't open this chest in this chapter, you can get it in any... you could even have got it in chapter 1 if you really wanted to. But hey, it saves you buying it from the airship, right? Anyway, that's one reason to climb up. The other reason is, as I say, for this alternate scene you can find. This is one of these classic things that I do certainly remember when I was younger, when I first started playing X2, I'd completely missed. It's just one of those little things that catches you out, right? And for what it's worth, despite the fact that this has % completion attached to it, just a tiny bit, it's like 0.1%, right? So if you're doing a New Game Plus and you're doing the new Yevon thing, really it's not something you have to see as long as you're doing 2 playthroughs. But so despite the fact there is % completion on it, this whole thing I'm about to show you guys very much feels like the devs were just having a little bit of fun and they wanted to add a stupid little scene in somewhere extra for players who went that little bit out of the way. It's just that whenever the devs did do something like that with this game and they had a little bit of fun, they ended up making it like almost required stuff with the way they did % later on, and that can really mess you up a little bit. Anyway, over here, this is where we would want to go if we wanted to climb to the very, very, very top of the mountain and get back up to the ruins we started the game at. In fact, I might even be able to show you guys a screenshot of exactly where you'd come out if you just kept climbing here. However, in this chapter, as we get to the very top, you'll see...
Think there's anything up this way?
If there is, we're gonna get blown away before we see it!
This is suicide, turn back!
you'll see we get this little windstorm up there that stops us in Chapter 2 being able to climb that high. Not because there's anything hidden up there, I think it's just they want to keep you in the bounds of the mission. So you do get that little cutscene. That, for what it's worth, is not what I was going to be talking about, the other bonus scene. The other bonus scene's very nearby. However, I've just realised we did also miss a cave on the mountain. I also want to explore so we can get some loot there too. Let me just zerg these guys down. I apologise that I'm not being particularly creative in the battles right now. It's just on this file, really, all we have is Festivalists, so it's waiting for them to learn new abilities. We did actually get Popper while we were fighting the using the Machina Moor before. So Popper, if you check this out, this is just a generic attacking offensive ability for the Festivalist. And we also just unlocked Fountain, which damages all enemies, which we'll try out in a second. But so this is what this looks like. If Pain was still on it, she'd be using that. She's ultimately just unlocked Mental Break here too. There's no real reason to sphere change right now, so I'm not going to do it in these battles. There you go. Just kind of big, confetti, sparkly, flashy explosions. And here's another one from Yuna. Probably will kill it. There you go. I used to be a treasure hunter and adventurer travelling around Spira in search of riches. My goal was to obtain hidden treasure never before seen in our time. I set off when I heard a rumour that legendary ruins appeared when clouds over Gagazette cleared up. So this was a recent death. But alas, right as the treasure was within my grasp, something happened to me. So, Yuna, I would ask a favour. Would you seek out the treasure in my place? I'll remember the way somehow. Come now, adventure waits! Now, the adventure has just begun. Lighting a lamp in a cave in Gagazette revealed a shiny prismatic stone reflected on water rising from the ground. But there was no time for sightseeing. I had run low on rations and had to press forward. I continued on, praying that I would reach the summit safe. We reached the middle of the adventure. Somehow I've made it thus far. Many faith had supposedly resided in the towering cliffs. Now, just the tower solemnly in the sky. As I climbed ever higher, I discovered a hot spring. Resting my weary legs was an unexpected delight. I was finally recharged and ready to go, so onwards and upwards. The adventure is almost at an end. Making my way through the dense fog, I finally arrived at the ruins. I continued on the path to the treasure. I could feel it close by, but something happened right there. Something that ended my life and turned me into a fiend. So, Yuna, I had thought to ask you to continue my quest, but I've realised that this is, in the end, my adventure. So let me be the one to finish it. I can feel that treasure waiting for me. Maybe a bit of a play on the this is my story thing here. Also, really interesting idea here that many faiths supposedly resided in the towering cliffs. So the idea that there were faith walking around, you know, those ruins at the top of Gagas that actually had, it was like a city for faith. That'd be kind of cool, right? Anyway, so there we go. And the treasure, of course, that he ultimately will get. Cut that bit. What happened to me at the end of my adventure? In order to find out, I've come back to these ruins once again. I recall what I was like back then. Yes, I remember. I almost slipped there. I remember climbing this cliff wasn't easy. Well, now I can just fly right over it. Ah, so refreshing. Being able to fly is so great. I remember trying to get to the top of this tower. Here we go. Up ahead is where the secret of my past lies. Okay, let's go. A giant fiend has made these ruins its home. Now that I've finally arrived here, So this was the thing that killed him. Yes, I remember. I was killed by this thing. Get out of here, whelp. I'll have my revenge for last time. Well, you certainly are bigger and more powerful now. This time I will defeat you! You know, like Seymour wanted to die, basically, just so he could become more powerful as Sin? Ha, you'd think I'd fall for that twice? It's kind of funny that people in this universe can die and become stronger. I can't believe it! How could... Man, that's badass. I love the big Fiend v Fiend fights you see here. My only wish was to return to this place again. So I'm satisfied now. Yuna, here's the treasure I promised. It's all yours now. So when that chest opens the first time you do this, it gives you the crystal ball accessory. Which we've now got in our inventory. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll climb back down. And back along here, you guys would have just seen there was a cave here. So what's in the cave? I do like this, even though the caves themselves, especially here on the mountain, are kind of linear. It's nice to just have little screens like this, you know, and you climb up and you find a chest. Like, what's harmful in that? I feel like it would be kind of easy to see something like this and be, this is wasteful of resources. You don't want to put this in the game. And, you know, it ends up not being there. But it's just something small to do, right? It's only a Phoenix down as well, but I like it. Why not have a little cave in there that's got a little something for us? Anyway, I was supposed to do that first. Now we'll get our bonus scene. Remember, if you went straight to the save sphere, if you just progressed ahead, as the game so heavily hinted at for you to do, you would not have seen this. And in particular, this to me is like one of those mythical scenes. Like as a teenage boy, you'd be like, oh, there's really a scene of that? Oh my god, and they hit it? Well, yeah. It's a bit fan-servicey. What can I say? It's 10-2 though. It's probably the most fan-servicey thing in the entire game. And is a big reason why the game's got a bit of a reputation for it. And really, watching this back as an adult, I actually find it kind of tame.
That water felt great. Can you believe there's a hot spring in a place like this?
But isn't this supposed to be sacred Ronso ground? Maybe this wasn't such a good idea.
What? You think some Ronso boogeyman is gonna come get you? Better that than the boss. Know what I mean?
Hey! You two been slacking off?
No, we were, getting ready for duty. Just trying to, rejuvenate, sir.
And they all get scared. So if we had gone the other direction, we wouldn't have done this. This wouldn't have happened. We would have just ran into the goons and had a fight with them. But as it stands,
What's this?
we fell in the hot spring.
A hot spring?
Were those LeBlanc's goons?
And conveniently,
Look, they forgot something.
they left their syndicate
That
uniform.
sure was easy.
So we actually don't have to do the fight.
Well, as long as we're here.
On sacred ground?
No one's looking.
I feel a little bit bad for Kamari here. Like, he did basically say, these people are trespassing, they're on sacred ground, can you do something about it? And then we go and literally dishonor exactly why he sent us here. And oh my god, yes, those were Hypello in the background, randomly.
This feels great.
What have we here?
What?
Whatever. I know who's got it going on.
Excuse me?
Stay away!
Whoa!
Want to get hurt?
You should check out Pain.
Ugh, hurt time!
I know some of you are thinking it. No, the outfits they're wearing in this cutscene are not classes.
You want some?
Ooh, let me help.
Where were we?
I didn't mean it.
Too late!
The Hypello is so stupid. It's unreal. Oh my god.
Yuna? What's all the noise?
Oh brother, here we go.
Just taking a little dip.
Tip? Call the tank! I'll be there right now! No!
Brother?
Don't worry, I knocked him out.
Maybe we should get out. I'm getting all groomy.
I really needed that.
And so there you go. Just a bonus little fun scene. Little bit cringeworthy, what can I say? Of them hanging out in the hot tub. And that was literally just because we went higher up. We do now actually get all of the uniforms already, and we avoided a fight with the LeBlanc Syndicate. Well, sort of. So there's nothing else we can do in the hot spring right now, so let's leave. And as we come out... Can we save? We can save. Good. I was a little bit worried there. And now, after we've saved, just after the point...
We'll be taking that uniform back.
If we lose it, LeBlanc will give us the heel.
You see, these ladies come to fight us. It's funny they're already in their outfits, but fine. So the encounter we get is actually significantly easier than what we otherwise would have had. So this time, let's use... Oh, we don't have it unlocked just yet. Okay, that's fine. We'll use Firefish on Riku here. We'll attack with Pain. See, the funny thing about Yuna is that I would still rather use the Fire Sandals just in case we get lucky. But I'll show you guys what Fountain looks like. This is the Festivalist's ability to damage everyone altogether. But basically, now we have 2 Femgoons plus a Snake to fight instead of Ormi. So the battle's easier. It's not just, hey, there's a cutscene. The branch does actually benefit you in some way as a player. And obviously, you can skip any cutscene if you really don't like it that much. And they go down. As you can see there, that was just a bigger animation, basically.
Another flawless victory.
Get some easy experience in. And as we progress even further along, you'll notice at our save sphere we couldn't board airship.
Lousy gull wings! Falling down on people like that gave me a little surprise, that's all.
For a little surprise, you sure took a while to come back.
Who asked you?
And so now we do still have to fight him. You still have to fight everyone, basically. But he's on his own. And this does make things easier, you know. Him plus 2 of those Femgoons can be more of a challenge. Again, as far as the game is challenging at these early stages, at least. What we'll do now is we will definitely mental break. And we'll make with the Fire Sandals. If he's mental broken from Pain, and then Yuna gets a Fire Arga, I mean, we may even just one-shot him. I'm pretty sure the fish, even though they do like physically attack him, are counted as magical damage also. So again, it's still useful. There we go, mental break. And it's so rare I get to use mental break in these games as well, I feel. Alright, we'll just do that. I could armor break him too, so that Pain's abilities were stronger. Maybe we should sphere change Pain though. We'll go with another Fire Sandals. Looks like Riku got a pretty big fish there. Yeah, she'll go over to Black Mage, which doesn't have that much stuff, but whatever. He's mental broken. It makes more sense. And again, let me remind you guys, the debuffs and stuff do run out in this game. You can't haste and be perma-hasted. You can't armor break and have him permanently armor broken, so we will have to swap back. This at least gives us an animation here. Breaks up the battle a little bit more. That thing where she slams on the ground and a ring of stuff explodes around her, I feel like is an ability I know from somewhere. But I'm not sure where from. It's kind of weird. Have we actually seen Pain as a Black Mage yet? I know we had our Black Mage comp earlier, but she was on Gun Mage at that point, wasn't she?
Time to teach you.
Wow!
No one expects the goldfish.
So, we will Phoenix down Pain there. That's pretty crazy. Now, remember, as a Black Mage, she is squishier anyway. But you will start to see these guys get a bit stronger. This version of Ormi here does have more dangerous stuff than we've seen him have before. And they will slowly ramp up. In fact, we could sphere change Riku as well now over to, Fire Sandals here. Over to, and I guess Fire once again. Fire just seems to be my go-to. Thief, and we'll steal from him and see what we get. Because, hey, if it's another elixir, it's still worth it. Pain's down, kind of scary. Probably should have left her on Warrior, to be honest. Not very smart. And that's kind of one of the punishing things about this game. It sucks when you sphere change. You take the time to see the animation for the first time. Maybe you didn't even go through a gate or something. And then it feels like it's a waste of time because you made the wrong decision anyway, right? Thank God Yuna has Protect at low health. Oh my God, she only has 19 health left. Come on, restart. I was actually starting to think this fire was getting a little bit powerful. Did Riku manage to steal there? I missed it. There can be a problem with the more flowing battles as well. You end up missing stuff. No, she did manage to steal something because it says she has nothing to steal left. We'll drop a high potion on Yuna. That's more than enough to put her to max health. Oh, Pain actually has full throttle available. I totally should have gone into that and shown you guys what that looks like. Riku's still tanking like a boss because she has auto protect at all times, if you remember. And now Pain is Sphere changing back. But it's much quicker. It's because on this file I have them on short. Alright, let's go full throttle. Let's go full throttle. I'll show you guys what this looks like. Actually, we already saw full throttle, didn't we? We saw on Josie. Whatever. Throttle. Do we have any good ones? Oh, he's not still armor broken. I should use stamina on Pain here to max her health back up. And then we will lower the defenses of Ormi using Buckle Feather. Long cast times. Now, even though the Dextral Wing and the Sinistral Wing have got lots of health, they will, if Pain dies, then they'll just disappear out of the battle straight away. Here, we'll use a metal attack now. Wait, metal? What does metal do? Oh, restore MP, right, of course. This time, let's lower his strength. We'll just keep debuffing, and with the Dextral Arts, I mean, hell, actually, Darkness is going to be really powerful. Blind Wing against him. Now here you can already see he's become a lot tankier and a lot more formidable. We'll use a Venom Wing here. Now just imagine if we fought this form of Ormi with a Logos next to him, with a LeBlanc next to him, and those people are significantly buffed too. That's kind of the theme of the way this this little story arc, I'm not going to say chapter, but story arc works. Let's go with a Diamond Feather. Just keep spamming those feathers out, I suppose. And down he goes. Nice. Well done, Pain. Because we're using a lot of abilities on this, they get AP quickly. Which is nice because these guys, these special dress spheres, can take a while to level. We get there the Beaded Brooch.
This is brother. How is everything?
Mission accomplished. We found ourselves a uniform.
Roger, we're on our way.
And there we go. I'm not going to end the episode just yet. There was something else I wanted to show you guys today. And because the videos are going to be slightly more infrequent now, I guess. They'll be like every 1.5 days instead of every day now. I'll tack this extra bit on. What I want to do is show you guys what kilika is like in this chapter. Now, not every chapter is like chapter 1. Some of them are a lot shorter.
Well?
It's perfect.
We're off to Chateau LeBlanc.
Let's settle the score.
Brother, stop being so pervy. What do you mean? Oh, it's perfect. What is that? Don't say that. Jesus. I actually can't stand these outfits. Everyone's right. They look horrible. But this is one of the coolest things about the chapter. We get to run around looking like a goon. Jeez. So they throw us in the menu, and this could make your heart stop. You'd be like, oh, no, what? That's the end of the chapter? It's not. You can now cancel out and return to the bridge. So it's fine. And indeed, if you do so, you can check out the garment grid we just got, which was Bum Rush. Yes, Bum Rush indeed. This is just a more powerful version of Vanguard, as you can see. Strength plus 10, magic plus 10, and so forth. So I'll be sure to set that up between episodes. And we can also equip here. We got the Beaded Brooch. Here we go. Which guards against both silence and darkness. As you can see, this is actually quite strong against the kind of stuff we've been fighting with the flash grenades and the hush grenades. So maybe we'll want to equip that probably as we progress with the story. But yeah, check it out. Running around as a goon. And Riku says, we chased off LeBlanc's meathead, so now Kimahri won't have to worry. And Pain says, there's the last place I would have expected to find a hot spring. Sadly, this is a lot like in Final Fantasy X, where you had Tidus holding the orb in his hand on the airship. When you go down into Spira, you don't continue to wear this outfit. I think that's a shame. I really do. I just love it when you have a different outfit. This is so badass. So, did Brother's dialogue change as well? I guess it must have, right? Yeah, he's something in our bed. I guess we'll translate that on the other file. Before that, though, let's go to Kilika. So, as I was saying, he says, you sure there's nothing else you want to do before hitting LeBlanc's? Chapter 2 is a fairly long chapter, but we're basically at the point of no return now. What does that mean? That means if we go to Guado Salam now and try to sneak into the mansion, we can no longer freely explore Spirit anymore. It doesn't work. Now, there's still loads of story left in Chapter 2. It's just from that point on, you can't go and explore the rest of the world. So this is our opportunity. As I said, some chapters are a lot shorter for side stuff than others. Chapter 2 is a fantastic example of being shorter. Already, we've been to a lot of places just through the main story, right? There's nothing more to do at Gagazette or Canal or Josie. And certainly other places like Kilika Island, there's very little to do as well. So I want to show you guys this. There was a bit of upheaval here last chapter. Let's see what's going on now. The fight between New Yevon and the Youth League for that sphere is over, thanks to us for taking it. Wonder if they'd be happy to see us. So let's see what they have to say. Remember, there was some side stuff for us to do. Publicizing the little monkey mission thing, if you remember, all the monkeys out in the forest. Speaking to the guy to look at the headquarters. This stuff, right? Surely?
The gull wings, was it not? Sphere hunters that give back spheres. Don't you think that's a little odd? If you're going to side with New Yevon, you might want to leave before something unfortunate happens.
Wow, so what are you saying to me? Well, at least we've got access to these chests here. As you can see, they have refilled. These are some of the refilling ones. Now, for what it's worth, whether you choose New Yevon or the Youth League, you're going to get largely the same results here. You'll just have different reasons for the results. So here, there's another chest. But basically what I'm trying to tell you, the long of it is, you can't explore Kilika in this chapter. It's not a thing. Look, Donna says, I'm telling you this for your own good. Leave. And they all shout us, I thought you were different, you Yevon tools. Go back to where you belong. And we can't explore. There you go. That's Kilika done. So this is a good example of how, say, this chapter is going to be a little bit more narrow. Anyway, so tomorrow, guys, I will see you on my other file. Got some fantastic stuff coming up. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching, guys. And I guess I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Flan Polido. Back when I was a human, I was a real good for nothing. Just a weak, spineless, half-baked shell of a man who didn't have the real guts to be a real villain or outlaw. But somehow, even a guy like me had someone who loved him. She was a genteel, well-to-do lady. I still can't figure out why she fell for a guy like me, but she told me that she did, and it made me so happy, you know? So I decided to try and become her new man. I mean, a classy lady like that doesn't deserve to be with some two-bit thug, right? But her parents objected, of course. Can't say I really blame them. I mean, our dates were always in Kilika Woods because it was free, and I could never buy her any presents. She said she didn't care about such things, but I was embarrassed that I was never able to do anything for her. So I decided I would work hard legit so I could buy my girl a ring. An engagement ring, that is. That's right. I decided to propose to her. I did buy a ring, but in the end I just couldn't afford a nice, expensive one. Even so, I was determined to propose to her. Even if she were to reject me, I had to let her know how I felt, or so I thought. We had planned to meet in the woods, as always, but at the moment drew near, I lost my nerve. I ran off before she even got there, leaving the ring buried in the ruins. Once a coward, always a coward, I guess. But I wish I had one more chance to do things over. I've been afraid for so long of coming to this forest, of getting past those ruins. What if that ring was still there? This time I will relay those feelings that I couldn't before. It's not here. Is it her? You? Could it be that you are? Does she recognize me? Ah, check it out. There's the ring on her finger. I love how they make these stories. They just, like, pick at one tiny detail on an NPC, like the ring, and then they make a story out of it. That's... I knew it. I knew it was from you. You're such a fool worrying about such petty matters. I didn't want any lavish presents. All I wanted was you. Here we see a fiend basically become an unsent again. But you were a well-to-do lady. I'm just an old lady now. Such a romantic story. Feelings I couldn't relay before. Will you stay by my side? I will. Man, Shinra has seen some crazy stuff. I was finally able to reply. I love it when Shinra gets off the airship too. Those ones are so good. And of course, that you see there as well. I don't know how many times I'll end up mentioning this, but not all like fiend stories end with them being sent. Sometimes, you know, they become unsent, and that's okay in this situation. We saw him be on the brink of being a fiend and then come back.